what you want to do for that family vacation this year. Fox 31's Dan DeRue joins us now with some ideas for the family adventure. Dan, that looks like fun.
Well, Shaw, let me tell you something. It doesn't have to be Disneyland. You don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money to have a good time with your family. And one of the most important things we can do with our loved ones, Brian Brawdy, is to spend time with them. It doesn't have to be crazy, but just do something. Get out of the house. What better state to do it than Colorado? Whenever Brian Brawdy, this is my pointing stick, by the way, Brian Brawdy, outdoor adventure expert, nationally known, 48 states, 2 provinces, and 1 puppet regime. I just keep throwing that in, Brian.
You do? Is it working any better the second time than the first?
No.
Okay.
Whenever you're in town, we have to have you on the show. You're an outdoor adventure guy. You're driving the green machine, even though this is white. This is your vehicle. You talk the talk, you walk the talk. You're all over the place. You do national television. Thanks for coming by.
My pleasure as always.
Listen, we got some moms and dads and brothers and sisters and maybe people without kids. They want to do a little camping this year. Want to get out. Want to just, you know, it doesn't have to be Denali. But
absolutely.
We want to do a little camping. But the number one thing is, you're telling me, number one thing is, and a lot of people forget this, safety. So before you want to go camping, when you talk about safety, what are you talking about?
Well, you know, I think most importantly is we have a plan even before we focus on safety. You stop and think about it. If you're going to head out in the woods, yourself, your family, your friends, check in with Crystal, check in with Chris, see what the weather's going to be. Unfortunately, the tragedy that we just learned about in the Gulf of Mexico, 4 guys, athletes, pretty big, strong, buff guys, don't check the weather, take a 21-foot boat out into 40-foot seas. You got to check in with Crystal, check with Chris, see what the weather forecast is going to be for the day that you want to go, and then maybe even in the next day, heaven forbid something happens, you get stuck out of it overnight, you gotta know what the weather is. That's the biggest threat to human safety in the wild, is the weather.
Also, like you're telling me, let someone know where you're going.
Oh, Dan, thanks for reminding me of that. The second most important thing, pick up the phone and go, hey, I'm gonna grab the kids, I'm heading out with Dan, we're gonna climb the Flatirons, we'll be back Sunday night at 5 o'clock. The number one thing that helps us rescue people when we're lost is that we know they're lost. Think back in your mind, Dan, of all the survival stories that you've reported on over the last couple of years. Hikers missing, this missing, that missing. The people that let us know where they were going, when they planned on coming back, those are the ones that we find. The ones that we don't find are the ones that we had no clue they were lost in the first place.
Brian, you asked me a question off camera, and boy, you really threw me a curveball, because you said, okay, you're out with your kids, and one of them gets bit by a snake, just on a walk, not on a camp out, just on a walk. They get bit by a snake. What are you, Dan DeRue, going to do? I didn't know how to answer that.
Well, the thing is to have a plan in advance, to know, even start to forecast in your mind, worst case scenario. We don't want to focus on it, but we want to have a moment of going, all right, if something happens, when it hits the fan, what am I going to do? In a situation like that, you've got to have an evacuation plan. How far are you away from the trailhead? Do you know where you've walked? So many people, Dan, so this will go like this. They see where they're walking to, then they get lost. They've never turned around and looked at the terrain, what it should look like when they're heading back to the trailhead. Know where you are. That's a big, important key.
And Shaw and Kenny, guess what? Having a cell phone is not going to work. Okay, I'm lost, and I'm right near a big tree right here. Big tree. Can you rescue me? Doesn't always work. Now,
even if you can get a signal.
Right,
even if you can get a signal on the phone.
You're in for a show tomorrow. It's a Colorado Boat Travel, Fun, Good Time, Happy show at the Colorado Convention Center. You're going to be there.
Yes, sir.
Go to
and the rig.
And the rig and the big green machine. We're going to show you this thing. This is one amazing vehicle.
Thank you, sir.
It doesn't get greener than this. Go to kdvr.com for information. Brian, you're a good man.
Nice stick.
All right, Dan DeRue live this morning. You can see the solar panels right on the front of that, so it'll be interesting to check it out from the inside.
Yeah, very nice. Thanks a lot, Dan.